Quality Council of India. Food Safety and Standards Act, 2006. Food Safety and Standards Act, 2006. Regulations. Schedule 4 Part 2. General requirements on hygienic and sanitary practices to be followed by all food business operators. Objectives of Fsa to consolidate the laws relating to food. To establish Food Safety and Standards Authority of India for laying down science-based standards for food. To regulate the manufacture, storage, distribution, sale and import of food products. To ensure availability of safe and whole food for human consumption. http://www.fsa.gov.in PFA to FSSA PFA FSSA Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954. Food Safety and Standards Act, 2006. PFA, always termed as draconian law, Inspectorage. It is undoubtedly outdated and has lost relevance to the developing food processing methods, techniques and food products across the world. FSSA aims to establish a single reference point for all matters relating to food safety and standards as against multi-level, multi-departmental control under different ministries. Old Food Regulations Fruit Product Order, 1955. Milk and Milk Products Order, 1992. Vegetable Oil Products Control Order, 1947. Edible Oils Packaging Regulation Orders, 1998. The Solvent Extracted Oil, De-oiled Meal and Edible Flour Control Order, 1967. Meat Food Products Order, 1973. 5. Key elements of Fsa 2006 Food Safety Management System. Risk Assessment. Communication. Product Recall. GHP. Penalty for unhygienic processing. Scope covers all commercial food. Packaging and labeling including nutrition. Guidelines for imported food. 6. FSSA 2006. The 12 chapters of FSSA 2006 Preliminary Definitions. Fsa Administration. General Principles of Food Safety. General Provisions as to Articles of Food. Provisions relating to import. Special Responsibilities as to Food Safety. 7. FSSA 2006 Cont. 7. Enforcement of the Act. 8. Analysis of food, laboratories, sampling and public analysts. 9. Offences and penalties. 10. Adjudication and Food Safety Appellate Tribunal. 11. Finance, accounts, audits, reports. 12. Miscellaneous. 8. Milk collection / chilling slaughterhouse solvent extracting unit. Who require license, see Regulation 2.1.2, Regulation 2.1.3 and Regulation 2.1.7, License, Renewal of License under FSSA, 2006 for kind of business. Manufacturing / processing including sorting, grading etc. Packaging. Relabeling, by third party under own packing and labeling. Storage / warehouse / cold storage. Retail trade. Wholesale trade. Distributor / supplier transporter of food. Milk collection / chilling. Slaughterhouse. Solvent extracting unit. Solvent extracting and oil refining plant. Importing. Catering, dabba or any other food vending establishment. Club / canteen. Draft Food Safety and Standards Regulations 2010, FSSA 2006. Chapter 1, General. Chapter 2, Food Authority and Transaction of Business. Chapter 3, Licensing and Registration of Food Businesses. Schedule 1, List of FB falling under purview of Central Licensing Authority. Schedule 2, Form A and B, Registration and License, plus Documents for License plus Form C and Form Ds. Schedule 3, Fees. Schedule 4, General, Part 1A and B, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5. Chapter 4, Packaging and Labeling Regulations. Chapter 5, Food Products Standard. Chapter 6, Substance added to food. Chapter 7, Prohibition and Restriction on Sales. Chapter 8, Contaminants, Toxins, Residues. Chapter 9, Laboratory and Sample Analysis. Chapter 10, Others. 10. FSSR 2006 Schedule 4. Definition of Food Safety Management System. Chapter I. Adoption of GMP, GHP, HACCP and other such practices as may be specified by regulation, for the food business. 12. FSMS requirements in Schedule 4. Part 1. General hygiene and sanitary practices to be followed to petty food business operators. Part A. Sanitary and hygienic requirements for food manufacturers, processor. Part IB. Sanitary and hygienic requirements for units other than manufacturing. Ref. Clause 7.2 of ISO 22000. FSMS related requirements in Schedule 4. Part 2. General requirements on hygiene and sanitary practices to be followed by all food business operators. Covers location, layout, design, utilities, food operation control. And FBOs shall identify steps in the activities of food business, which are critical to ensuring food safety and ensure that safety procedures are identified, implemented, maintained and reviewed periodically. Main Ref. Codex General Principles of Hygiene. Other references. Clause 7.2 of ISO 22000, Part 220, Risk Assessment Based Approach 7.4, 7.5, 7.6 of ISO 22000. 14. Food Safety and Standards Act 2006, Schedule 4, Part 2, General Requirements on Hygiene and Sanitary Practices to be followed by all food business operators. It also refers to identifying steps critical to food safety and management of safety procedures therein. Location and surroundings. Layout and design of food establishment premises. Equipment. Facilities, water supply, cleaning utensils and equipments, washing of raw materials, ice, and steam, drainage and waste disposal, personnel facilities, and toilets, air quality and ventilation, lighting. Food operations and control, procurement of raw materials in food, storage of raw materials in food, food processing, preparation, packaging, distribution and service, time and temp control. Management and supervision. Food testing facilities. Audit, documentation, and records. Sanitation and maintenance of establishment premises, cleaning and maintenance, pest control systems. Personal hygiene, health status, personal cleanliness, personal behavior, visitors. Product information and consumer awareness. Training. 15. FSMS related requirements in Schedule 4. Part 3. Specific hygiene and sanitary practices to be followed by food business operators engaged in manufacture, processing, storing and selling of milk and milk products. Part 4. Sale of meat and meat products. Part 5. FBOs engaged in catering, food service establishments. 16. General requirements on hygiene and sanitary practices. Schedule 4 Part 2. General requirements on hygiene and sanitary practices. 1. Location and surroundings. Away from environmentally polluted areas and industrial activities to prevent obnoxious odor, fumes, excessive soot, dust, smoke, chemical or biological emissions and pollutants. Areas subject to flooding. Areas prone to infestations of pests. Areas where wastes, solid or liquid, cannot be removed effectively. Premises not to be used residential purposes. 2. Layout and design of food establishment premises. Not subject to cross-contamination. For example, processing from receiving. Activities compartmentalized. Material movement unidirectional. Machinery not to occupy more than 50% of the manufacturing area. Flooring. Walls, ceilings, exhausts, windows. 3. Equipment, food contact equipment, utensils. Location, design, and fabrication. Containers for waste. Containers for chemicals. 3. Equipment located, designed and fabricated. Equipment and containers that come in contact with food and utensils for sale. Made of corrosion-free materials, which do not impart any toxicity to the food material. At all times in good order and repair, a clean and sanitary condition. Dedicated equipment and containers. Located, designed and fabricated. Equipment and containers for waste, byproducts and inedible or dangerous substances, identifiable and suitably constructed. Food contact surfaces. 4. Facilities, water facilities for cleaning utensils. Facilities for cleaning raw materials. Ice and steam. Drainage and waste disposal. Personnel facilities. Air quality. Lighting. Water storage. Water storage and treatment. Must be at a convenient location to feed entire facilities. Must provide for receiving and supply. In-line disinfection devices like chlorine doing pumps / Venturi meters UV etc. Must be made up material that will not support microbial / weed growth and remain cleanable and easy to maintain. Must be protected against pest entry. 4. Facilities, water supply. Only potable water, as per BIS specs, with appropriate facilities for its storage, distribution shall be used as ingredient and also for food handling, washing, processing and cooking. Water storage tanks, cleaned periodically and records maintained. Non-potable water only for cooling of equipment, steam production, firefighting and refrigeration equipment. Prevent cross-contamination. Facilities for cleaning utensils, equipment. Facilities for washing of raw materials. 4. Facilities, ice and steam drainage and waste disposal. Disposal of sewage and effluents, solid, liquid and gas, in conformity with the requirements of Factory Environment, Pollution Control Board. Waste storage, not to contaminate the food process, storage areas, the environment inside and outside the food establishment. Waste shall be kept in covered containers. Waste not to accumulate in food handling, food storage, working areas. 4. Facilities, personnel facilities and toilets. Washing and drying of hands. Wash basins. Supply of hot and / or cold water. Separate lavatories for males and females. Changing facilities for personnel. Suitably located, not open directly into food processing, handling or storage areas. Trained people. 4. Facilities, air quality and ventilation. Ventilation systems. Natural and / or mechanical including air filters, exhaust fans. Air not to flow from contaminated areas to clean areas. Lighting. 5. Food operations and controls. Procurement of raw materials. Storage of raw materials. Processing, preparation. Packaging. Distribution, service. Follow storage norms. 5. Food operations and controls. Storage of raw materials and food. Facilities designed and constructed to protect food from contamination. Maintenance and cleaning against pest access and accumulation. Cold storage. Segregation and identification for the storage of raw, processed, rejected, recalled or returned materials. Raw materials and food in separate areas from printed packaging materials, stationery, hardware and cleaning materials, chemicals. separate from the area of processed, cooked and packaged products. Temperature and humidity to be maintained. FIFO. Non-toxic containers. Racks, pallets above floor level, away from walls. 5. Food operations and controls. Procurement of raw material. Not to accept raw material or ingredient containing parasites, undesirable microorganisms, pesticides, veterinary drugs or toxic items, decomposed or extraneous substances, not likely to be reduced to acceptable level during sorting and or processing. Conform to the regulations under the Act. Records, materials and source. 5. Food operations and controls. Food processing, preparation. Time and temperature control. System to effectively control time and temperature. Time and temperature of receiving, processing, cooking, cooling, storage, packaging, distribution and food service up to the consumer, as applicable. Defrosted, thawed material not to be stored back and after opening. Tolerance limits and records. Chimney, exhaust, fan etc. 5. Food operations and controls. Food packaging. As bracked. Food grade aluminium, plastic, tin as bracked. Packaging materials, gases, non-toxic under storage, used conditions. 5. Food operations and controls. Food distribution, service. Supply chain system to minimize food spoilage during transportation, processed, packaged and, or ready-to-eat food. Conveyances, containers designed, constructed and maintained to effectively maintain temperature, humidity, atmosphere and other conditions necessary to protect food. Conveyances, containers for transporting, serving foodstuffs shall be non-toxic, clean and maintained in good condition to protect foods from contamination. Dedicated conveyance, cleaning, disinfection. 6. Management and supervision. SOPs. Technical managers, supervisors. 6. Management and supervision. Detailed SOP. Technical managers and supervisors have appropriate qualifications, knowledge, skills on food hygiene principles and practices. Ensure food safety and quality products. Judge food hazards. Take appropriate. Ensure effective monitoring and supervision. 7. Food testing facilities. In-house laboratory. External laboratory. 7. Food testing facilities. Laboratory. In-house, for testing of food materials, food for physical, microbiological and chemical analysis as per specifications/standards under the rules and regulations for regular, periodic testing. If need, food materials, food shall be tested before dispatch. Or, regular testing be done through an accredited laboratory. In case of complaints, testing either in the in-house laboratory or from a designated lab outside. 8. Audit, documentation, and records. Periodic audits. Documentation and records. 8. Audit, documentation, and records. Periodic audit of whole system as per SOP. To find out any fault, gap in the GMP/GHP system. Records of food processing, preparation, production, cooking, storage, distribution, service, food quality, laboratory test results, cleaning and sanitation, pest control and product recall. To be retained for 1 year or the shelf life of the product, whichever is more. 9. Sanitation and maintenance. Cleaning and maintenance. Pest control system. 9. Sanitation and maintenance. Cleaning and maintenance. Cleaning and sanitation program. Records to indicate areas. Cleaning frequency. Cleaning procedure. Equipment and materials to be used for cleaning. Equipments in manufacturing, cleaned and sterilized after each use at the end of the day. Preventive maintenance of equipment, machinery, building and other facilities. as per manufacturer's instructions. Non-toxic, edible grade lubricants be used. 9. Sanitation and maintenance. Pest control systems. Establishment to be kept in good repair. Holes, drains, etc. to be kept sealed or fitted with mesh, grills, claddings. Animals, birds and pets not to be allowed into the food establishment areas/premises. Food materials to be stored in pest-proof containers, stacked above the ground and away from walls. 9. Sanitation and maintenance. Pest control systems. Treatment with permissible chemical, physical or biological agents, within the permissible limits. Treatment to be carried out without posing a threat to the safety or suitability of food. Records of pesticides, insecticides used along with dates and frequency to be maintained. Health status, personal cleanliness, personal behavior, visitors. 10. Personal hygiene. Health status. Personal cleanliness. Personal behavior. Visitors. 10. Personal hygiene, health status. Personnel known, suspected, to be suffering from, to be a carrier of a disease or illness likely to be transmitted through food, not to be allowed to enter into any food handling area. System of reporting illness. Periodic medical checkups and also if clinically or epidemiologically indicated. 10. Personal hygiene, health status. Medically examined once in a year to rule out infectious, contagious and other communicable diseases. Record of these examinations. Compulsory yearly inoculation against the enteric group of diseases and records thereof. In case of epidemic, all workers to be vaccinated irrespective of yearly vaccination. 10. Personal hygiene, personal behavior, food handlers to refrain from smoking, spitting, chewing or eating, sneezing or coughing over any food, eating in food preparation and food service areas. Food handlers to trim their nails and hair periodically. Do not encourage or practice unhygienic means while handling food. 10. Personal hygiene, personal behavior. Persons handling raw materials or food products shall maintain high standards of personal cleanliness at all times. In particular, a. They shall not smoke, spit, eat or drink in areas or rooms where raw materials and food products are handled or stored. B. Wash their hands at least each time work is resumed and whenever contamination of their hands has occurred, for example after coughing, sneezing, visiting toilet, using telephone, smoking, etc. 10. Personal hygiene, personal behavior. Avoid certain hand habits, for example scratching nose, running finger through hair, rubbing eyes, ears and mouth, scratching beard, scratching parts of bodies, etc. When unavoidable, hands should be effectively washed before resuming work after such actions. Food handlers not to wear any belongings such as rings, bangles, jewelry, watches, rings and other items that pose a threat to the safety and suitability of food. 10. Personal hygiene visitors. Generally discouraged to go inside the food handling areas. However, proper care has to be taken to ensure that food safety and hygiene is not getting compromised due to visitors in the floor area. The food business shall ensure that visitors to its food manufacturing, cooking, preparation, storage or handling areas must, wherever appropriate, wear protective clothing, footwear and adhere to the other personal hygiene provisions envisaged in this section. 11. Product information and consumer awareness. As per Fssa 2006, for next person in food chain, all food handlers periodic assessment supervision review. 12. Training. All food handlers periodic assessment supervision review. 12. Training food handlers made aware of their role and responsibility to have the necessary knowledge and skills relevant to the food processing, manufacturing, packing, storing and serving. Are instructed Trained in food hygiene and food safety aspects along with personal hygiene requirements commensurate with their work activities, the nature of food, its handling, processing, preparation, packaging, storage, service and distribution. Periodic assessments of the effectiveness of training. Routine supervision and checks to ensure that food hygiene and food safety procedures are being carried out effectively. Training programs shall be routinely reviewed and updated wherever necessary. About QCI. Established in 1997 by a cabinet decision, in partnership with Fsa, Associum. Autonomous body, rigged as society, chairman appointed by PM, Ratan Tata, Venu Srinivasan, Dr. R. A. Mashelkar. Provide accreditation structure in the country. Spread quality movement in India, assigned national quality campaign funded by government. Provide right and unbiased information on quality and related standards. Represent India's interest in international fora. Help establish brand equity of Indian products and services. Currently independent body. Structure of QCI. National Accreditation Board for Certification Bodies NABC. National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories, NABL. National Registration Board for Education and Training, NABET. National Board for Quality Promotion, NBQP. National Accreditation Board for Hospitals and Healthcare Providers, NABH. Currently independent body. Voluntary certification. Standard owner, Fsa, NMPB, COSM. Accreditation body QCI. Certification body. The organization. The customer.